Hi, and welcome to Wingman Wisdom. Motorhomes are great, or they can be great. Lots and lots of people own them, and even more people want to own one. But as great as a motorhome can be, as great as your thoughts are about what it would be like to own a motorhome, they can be a royal pain in the butt from the very, very beginning. Recently, I had a visit with the RV lemon lawyer, my badass friend, Ron Burge, who is the foremost RV lemon lawyer in the country, and we spoke about motorhomes. If you know anyone who's getting ready to buy a motorhome, please have them watch this video. It's very short. It will scare the bejeebers out of you. I want it to not scare you, but to get your attention. Let's get started. I'd like to visit with you a little bit about motorhomes, Ron, because I think that there are more, personally, I think that there are more things to break. They're more expensive to maintain. Yes, they're lovely. If you like a motorhome and you can, maintain it, wonderful. But there's a lot of things about a motorhome, warranty-wise and repair-wise, lemon-wise, that I think buyers need to know. Let's talk about motorhomes for a bit. And then I've got a phone call that's probably the worst one I have ever received. I want to play and get your feedback on. So What do you see in terms of motorhomes?
Well, I think what people need to know in terms of motorhomes is that you may think that you've got a car lemon law, that when you buy the new car, your state lemon law covers you. And so you're okay. If you get a history of problems, you can get rid of it, get your money back, or else make them replace it or whatever. Well, that's your car. That's not your RV. Most state lemon laws do not cover an RV. Those that do only cover the chassis, the motorized function of it, so to speak, but not any of the living quarters. And when you think about an RV, what we've seen is that the chassis is usually the best built part of an RV. So it's not going to likely have those kinds of problems. The other thing, however, is that there are a couple of states, Wisconsin, New York, and maybe a couple others, where their lemon law just might well cover you when you got a bad RV, even the housing portion of it. So where you buy the RV can make a huge difference. How you buy it can make a huge difference too. Getting to know the dealer people and making sure that you shake their hand when you make that buy and everything else along the way so that they get to know you and you develop a relationship with them, which can bypass the warranty issues that you might otherwise have. But a motorized RV, one of the really big problems is it's kind of like the more they put on an RV, the bigger the chance is you're going to have something go wrong with it. Motorized RVs, usually the motor aspect of it isn't where your problem is. It's just that when you get a motorized one, they automatically start adding a whole lot more stuff on it. One of the biggest dangers of a new RV, particularly the motorized, is all those storage compartments that you see. You got all the cabinets on the inside, and then you got the basement storage compartments and everything. It looks like you can just load up a ton of stuff and go camping. And in reality, in most cases, you cannot. In most cases, you can't even use actually all of the storage compartments, because if you do, you'll end up with the RV being overweight, overloaded, and that makes it dangerous to drive and also can blow your warranty out the door.
Because there is a certain amount of tonnage, of bulk, if you will, ballast that you can carry. And if you fill up your tanks and you take 1,000 pounds of gear, a lot of people, heard that the 1,000 pounds is a realistic number. You are already overweight on many of these new motorhomes.
Yeah, you can be overweight or bumping right up against it. You got to remember, everything gets weighed as part of what goes into the RV. All the fuels, all the liquids, all the groceries, all your clothing, all your camping gear.
All the people.
And then there's you on top of all that. So you got to know what your limits are.
Why is there no RV lemon law nationwide, Ron
Hey, I
Burge?
just remembered,
Why?
I bet Dirty Harry said that you got to know your limits once, many years ago. But yeah, there is no real national lemon law that covers specifically RVs. There is a federal warranty law which can cover RVs. But the problem is that the lemon law is much, much clearer in states. 3 chances to fix a problem, and then it's a lemon. 30 days out of service or whatever it might be, the limit for that state lemon law, and then it's a lemon. And then once it's a lemon, you don't have to do nearly as much arguing.
Okay, we've got a phone call that we're going to play here quickly, and this is this just came in, and I'm just going to let the phone call speak for itself. Are you ready for it? Let's go ahead.
We are experiencing what we believe is an absolute lemon nightmare. We just watched your story that you had on. We flew from Arizona to yesterday to purchase a Nexus Rebel 2023. We had done all the research. We really felt that we wanted to go with the privately held RV dealer and a small family-owned dealership so that we wouldn't be just a number. When we got here to pick up our vehicle last night and asked for a walkthrough, the water heat pump casing or something was cracked. They said they de-winterized it and they accidentally cracked it. So we had to wait for hours. Long story short, things went on until we finally got in our vehicle, drove it 60 miles, and we had so many problems. We had service lights coming on. We had leakage trying to find hot water. We have a list of about a dozen things, 5 of them pretty major. Couldn't get the navigation working. They said it had, Apple Play, but we couldn't even navigate. And again, this is our first RV purchase. We are 50 years old. We sold our home in Arizona. I've been a licensed realtor 25 years, so we took advantage of that market and said we're gonna live part-time in an RV, and did our homework, flew here, and now we came back first thing the next morning because they were closed last night, and we have been sitting here for hours. Even got on the phone with the owner of Nexus, who's not standing behind their product. We need some help. I have a feeling they're not going to give us our money back. We were cash buyers. They talked us into financing. So we gave them $20,000. We're trying to get a flight home. My husband needs to be in surgeries on Monday morning. I'm actually freezing out here. Sorry. We would just like to find out what resources we have. I'm pretty shaken up. I don't want to get back in that vehicle and drive. We have so many issues with it. I feel unsafe to drive all the way home to Arizona. Again, first-time RV owners. Thought we did all of our research and came to the right place with the right product. We are finding out very quickly that that is not the case.
Ron, I'm sorry for the long play that voicemail message and not trying to blindside you, but it's just horrible to hear. I mean, this is not a stupid person. These people, they work hard. They sounds like they did their homework. Where did she go wrong?
There's so many things about that story. And I really feel sorry for them. This is the kind of a case that was the reason that I started suing RV companies. I tell you, there's so many things. Now, they did some things here that could have been done better or differently or whatever. That's certainly true. But when you got a bad RV, it doesn't really matter where you bought it. It's just a bad RV and it needs to be dealt with. Let me, a couple of things that come to mind. First of all, they went out of state to buy the RV. That's not necessarily bad, but the problem is that out-of-state dealer is going to look at you as a one-time buyer, and then you're gone. And maybe you'll come back, but you'll probably get on the internet and go someplace else next time. So there's a sort of a loyalty between the buyer and the seller there that probably isn't going to exist for very long. I always tell people you should buy near you. So if something goes wrong, you can go over and drive over there and you can sit in the showroom and make sure they understand you ain't leaving until you get dealt with. That kind of ability to walk in and confront somebody who can help you and get their help, or else make sure they understand you're upset. You can do that face to face. A phone call, an email, that doesn't amount to a whole lot to most RV dealers. Now, in this one, you got that, and that was the first complication. Then the second thing is sound like they had problems in the walkthrough at the get-go. And At that point, they should have pulled the plug and stopped right there. Even if they've signed something. There's a saying in the business, it ain't sold till it goes over the curb. And that's the way the dealers look at it. So you got to hang them with that where you need to. If they're trying to deliver crap to you, you need to make sure that they know that you see what they're doing and that you won't do it. Now, in their particular situation here, it sounds like all this literally just happened very recently. Now is the time to get to a lawyer, any lawyer, because what you're really talking about here is revoking acceptance of a bad RV that was delivered bad in the first place. And you can have a lot more legal rights at that stage than you will 6 months from now after they've strung you out trying to do repairs and waiting for parts and all the rest of that. Now, they also had problems at the delivery and then problems on the first trip. They were smart to go back right away to the dealer because that's what you need to do. You need to try to make sure you never get problems, but as soon as you have them, if you can, turn around and go right back to that dealer and start sitting there on their lot and complaining face to face, because that gets a whole lot more attention than emails and phone calls and all the rest of that. One other thing they mentioned, living in it. They sold their home. They're going to be living in it and such. Obviously,
she
now,
said part-time, she said part-time, but she did say they sold their home. So
Yeah, so I'm wondering about that, because if you sold your home, you got to be living someplace, and of course, warranties, and particularly Rev, they've got that kind of language in there. So you got to watch out with these manufacturers. Make sure that when you go to a dealer and you tell them, "Hey, I'm going to live in this. Is that going to be okay for my warranty?" And the dealer says yes. Well, then say, "Well, why don't you just write that down right here? Get it in writing." At least then the dealer has made a specific representation. So if something goes wrong and that turns out not to be accurate, you can turn around and go to that dealer. But they just have a ton of problems, and they really need to get to an attorney who can try to get them out of that fast. The sooner you deal with the problem after you bought it and you see the problems, the more likely you can get it out of it.
I know that you specialize in lemon law, RV lemon law. And that is a very specialized field, part of, the legal system, if you will. Is a family lawyer good enough for this lady to write a nasty letter? If, instead of me going to Bird's law firm and hiring you guys, is it okay for me to get my own lawyer to write a nasty letter? Will they respond to that, or what should I expect? Because just get your report.
Well, I tell you, in terms of getting your own lawyer, what we're talking about here is the dealer's failure to deliver what they were selling, which was a good RV, and all the problems that you immediately notice. Now, that's just simply called revoking your acceptance of the RV, and it's a basic contract law principle. Okay. Almost all lawyers know about that, except those who have been practicing in a different area of law for a long time, like a long-time criminal law lawyer or a long-time probate lawyer or other areas where they don't get a lot of exposure to contract issues. But this is a basic contract law issue that most lawyers are familiar with. Getting that letter out fast is what makes the difference.
Well, I hope I didn't turn you off from motorhomes. I love motorhomes. I just want people to understand, along with the joy and the excitement of ownership comes it's a good idea to be pretty pragmatic. Have your head right, if you will, when you go into a motorhome purchase. I'm hopeful that this helped educate you and balance you. Again, not trying to run you away from motorhomes. I love them. Do you have a story that you would like to share? Disappointment in your RV, in your dealer, in your manufacturer? This isn't a place to just vent, but I promise I listen to every voicemail like I did to this woman, and I read every email that comes in. So share your stories with me. I might be able to help you share them with the world to help bring the level of the RV industry up just a little bit higher. If you think that you might have a lemon RV, I suggest you click on the word more. It will open up at the bottom of this video, and you'll see a link over to Ron Burge's website where he has a form that you can fill out. It's free. He's not an ambulance chaser. He wants to provide good, solid information. If you think you have a lemon RV, go click more, click on his link, and it's a free evaluation. You can tell him about your RV, and one of his team of professionals, these are lawyers, not secretaries or auto robots. These are actual lawyers that will review your form. So go there now, and I don't get paid a commission. I don't get paid a finder's fee if you go there. I just want Ron Burge to be an asset that is available to you. So again, share your stories with me. And if you know somebody that's getting ready to buy a motorhome or they're dreaming of one, and gosh, I've got tons of people that say, one day we're going to buy a big Class A. Class A is too big for us. We're going to buy a Class C, whatever it is. If you know somebody who is wanting to buy a motorhome, please have them watch this video. Again, the purpose is to not run anybody away, but to help educate them. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a comment below. Subscribe to Wingman Wisdom. Give this video a thumbs up. I'm Alan Warren. I am the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.